Hello everyone, it is Reversal and welcome to today's news flash. In this video I will bring you the latest updates on the events in Knights and Dragons, and as always I'll go through them briefly and give you guys my thoughts and opinions about the events. This week we have quite a few events, and we're going to be starting off by another Fusion Fighter Blitz Guild War, which is actually going to start relatively soon. Then we have another summer starter pack. We had it like 2 weeks back as well. We have Gwen and Jamograms, I suppose. Another gem spending event. We'll be going over this pretty soon as well. And then after that, the Road to the Guild Gift event war, I suppose. Basically, you buy packs and you'll be having a chance to earn bonus energy for your guild. It's a better way to help out your guild, right? Okay. Moving on. No wall will stop the Kaiju. And then last but definitely not least, it is Liberty Crush. It is going to be the weekly arena tournament. It's actually going to be quite interesting. Currently it is the 27th of May. So that actually means that there is going to be an update. And I'm just going to cut this episode to the point where we actually are at the result winners of this week. The epic of last week was actually called the Blaystone Mantle. So let's actually look at the 3 champions this week. And this time around, coming in first position, we have TLK Champ Maximus with 630,000 points. It's actually not a whole lot, because I was expecting to see a whole lot more with the Blaystone Mantle. Second position, we have Alderan with 566,000 points. And in third position, also winning the Blaystone Mantle, it is CH2 with a little bit less than 500,000 points. Congratulations to you guys actually winning those armors. And it's really funny to see that you guys all have better armors than the Blaystone Mantle. That being said though, we're going to be moving on to this week's arena. It is called Liberty Crush with the Sandstorm Plate Mill. First timer here in the arena for the Sandstorm Plate Mill. It's actually going to be quite interesting. I'll be giving you guys some details about what I think about this. So the Sandstorm Plate Mill initially got released on the 17th of January this year. So it's like a little bit more than half a year old. It got released in the Sandstorm chest. And the elements of this armor are earth and air, which is actually a pretty awesome combination, I suppose. So the Sandstorm Plate Mill is actually a pretty cool looking armor. I do really like the design and the hammer and all that good stuff. It really kind of gives a very impressive kind of feel. This armor is also fusible, so if you want to get your hands on this armor, make sure you do a earth type combination alongside with air. You have a chance of getting the Sandstorm Plate Mill if they are like legendary or non-legendary. So what do I have to say more about this armor? I suppose that because it's in the arena and it's relatively outdated, I am not sure whether or not there's going to be a whole lot of points done in the arena. We saw it last week, not a whole lot of points done for the Blaystone Mantle either, so I'm not sure what we can expect in this. I'm pretty curious to see what's actually going to happen, but I don't expect a whole lot from this armor. So we're going to be moving on to the actual legendary. This time around it's Drake Plate Mill. Well, not Drake as in the singer Drake, but Drake as in a dragon plate mill, okay? The Drake Plate Mill initially got released on the 9th of January alongside with the Fire Drake. And again, that's not Drake being on fire, but it's actually like a fire dragon, which surprisingly actually looked like a worm. The horrible worm was ripped off from one of the older designs, which was quite funny. But a lot of people were upset. At that time, around January, there was a whole like bunch of armors coming out or epic bosses coming out that were copied from previous epic bosses, and people really did not like that. And Gree actually really stepped up their game from that point on forward. But enough about that. Drake Plate Mill is a fire type with air type combination, which actually cancels out water, but at the same time is weak against water, so that's quite nice, I suppose. But this armor in general is pretty outdated. We got better armors out there, like for example the Kaiju Carapace is a better armor with the same type elements, and I'm probably missing out on 1 or 2 more. So the Drake Plate Mill is actually I suppose just use it to fuse it, because you're not going to use this in your lineup anyway, because it's relatively outdated. You're basically going to get your ass kicked in the arena if you actually use this in your lineup. Okay, gonna be moving on to the second legendary. It is the Witch's Robes. Well, Witch's Robes is very familiar. We've seen it so many times on so many occasions. It actually got released with Circe, Circe, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce, Circe, I think, on October 24th. At that time it was really good. Right now it's really bad. I suppose just use it to fuse it once again. I suppose Gree should be releasing armors out there for top 100. I suppose maybe the last 3 months, armors out of the last 3 months, and I suppose, well, this is okay for like the second legendary, I suppose. I really do not know for sure, but it's just we've seen it too much, and hopefully we won't see it again. Okay, so right now there's no sale ongoing for the arena energy. That's quite unfortunate. However, though, there is a new quest, the Patriotic Brawl 1, and looks like a party got started early. I don't think those are fireworks. Of course, it's gonna be Independence Day on the 4th of July, and this arena kind of like it's really nice timing, I suppose. Get a 5 times win streak in the arena before your streak or timer runs out. Actually quite easy work there. I suppose just finish off this weekly quest line so that way you actually get your hands on some gems. And that being said, let's move on to the next event. It is once again the Summer Starter Pack, and as I already mentioned before, you know, you'll be capable of getting a pretty nice deal out of this. It is the half. It's actually half the price. It's really great for beginners. The armor is pretty strong as well. The Lightning Lord armor is not that bad at all, especially when you start off the game. Unfortunately, I cannot show this off to you guys because I already reclaimed this starter pack, so I cannot show it off to you guys. And that actually brings me to my next point, Guild Gifting War event. I don't really plan to spend a whole lot of time on this, but it's not like Call to Arms where you can gift away an armor. So only do this if you are on a really good sale, like 30 or 40%, and you do really want to help out your guildmates by giving them war energy. I suppose that's the only real way how to use this. So I got a lot of money ready right here, so let's actually collect this right now, just in case, because it's almost maxed out. It maxes out at 24,000. And we're gonna be moving on to the next event this time around. It is the Fusion Fighters Blitz Guild War, and that is actually gonna be starting relatively soon in one day on Saturday. So this time it isn't on Friday, but it is actually on a Saturday, which is really nice. We kind of see the pattern of the Fusion Fighter Blitz Guild War being on a Saturday lately, and I actually do like it a lot. So we're gonna be talking about this Guild War just very briefly. I just really wanted to point out to you guys that if you guys actually want to follow this Guild War, to subscribe to my channel, because I'm gonna be releasing an episode at the end of the Guild War comparing the previous results to these results. And as a matter of fact, my guild Incognito will always go for top 250, and gonna try to get those 7 fusion boost armors. This time the element is gonna be Spirit. It's gonna be quite interesting, and a Guild War is always something we're gonna be looking forward to. That being said, we're gonna be moving on to the next event, and the next event are Gwen and the Gemograms. Just let that sink in for a little bit. Gwen and the Gemograms. Well, this is another gem spending event. It is going to end on 29th of June, so we still have like 2 days remaining. If you spend a lot of gems, you're gonna get, well, handsome rewards, so that's what they like to call it. Okay, get yours today, the Snowstorm plate mode. We're gonna take a look at this. So basically, if you spend an amount of gems, you're gonna be rewarded for spending that amount of gems. And I'm basically explaining this for those of you guys who are new. If you spend 50 gems in total, doesn't matter where you spend it, in the arena, if you spend it on epic boss, if you spend it on chest, if you just spend the gems, then you're going to get the rewards. In this case, if you spend 50 gems, you're going to get 3 water fusion boost armors, which actually, it's a pretty nice reward, considering the fact that you don't have to buy those fusion boost armors. You just get them if you spend 50 gems. That's not too bad at all. Then the second reward here is the Neon Warrior. Neon Warrior came out a long time ago. I think like in January or February or something like that. It's actually the first epic boss that I took down for the 43rd time, which was relatively nice. And this armor actually is okay in defense, but it's just relatively outdated at this point in day. So I suppose it's an okay armor. If you don't have anything else, definitely use it. But I think it's a pretty bad reward for 1500 gems. Now the last thing is the Snowstorm Plate Mill. Snowstorm Plate Mill Plus was an epic that got released in the actual Guild War, actually a while back. It is a really good armor. I gotta say, it's a really great armor. It definitely replaces the Maelstrom Irons. 5,000 gems is what you need to spend in order to get one, but you have a plus version, and a lot of people don't have the plus version, and it's actually a really great reward for getting that. So I suppose if you are interested in this kind of thing, only get these rewards if you already initially planned on spending the gems. But other than that, I really would not recommend it, because in like 1 month from now, you have a very similar event once again. That being said, we're gonna be moving on to the last event this week. This time it is of course the epic boss. No wall will stop the Kaiju. I don't know if you guys have seen Pacific Rim. But basically what it is in Pacific Rim is that the kaiju is a race of amphibious creatures that cause mayhem, and basically they are extremely hostile, so they basically essentially are the bad guys, and it's really great to see them. What kaiju also means in Japanese, from the Japanese translation, it literally means strange beast or weird beast or awkward looking beast, and that's what it is. The kaiju is actually a really awkward monster. It kind of like, I don't know, resembles Godzilla in a way, but also a water monster and a dragon and a lizard. I have no idea, like literally it looks kind of badass, I gotta say. It's just not my cup of tea all that badly, but I can definitely understand if people be like, well, this monster looks really great. I've kind of looked into this, but I'm pretty happy to announce to you guys that the Kaiju Carapace is actually the highest defensive legendary in the game right now. So if you want to get a very nice defensive wall, this will be your guess. And I suppose the elements are pretty nice as well. They match pretty well together. They basically cancel out like water entirely, so that's really nice, and fire of course. So it is very strong against those elements, and of course we're gonna be seeing more from this in the arena, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going to be wearing this as they get their hands on it. I'm basically going to go for level 43, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be using this armor myself. But you guys will be seeing a boss downing episode on Kaiju. And that's basically going to be it for this week's news flash. I basically covered everything that I wanted to be covering to you guys. So if you have any question at the end of this episode, you can always ask them to me on ask.fm. I'm always inviting you guys to also join in the discussion, to also express your thoughts and your opinions about these events with everyone else in the comment section down below. Soon it's gonna be the 4th of July, Independence Day. Next week I'm actually going to wish you guys a very safe day, because there's gonna be a lot of fireworks at the same time. So yes, we're going to round this episode off here. As I already mentioned before, have a question for me on ask.fm. If you're interested to see more from me on Knights and Dragons, by the way, I'm always very active on Instagram, so you can always like check me out there. I'm posting up pretty cool pictures from time to time. I'm trying to get a little bit more active on Twitter, so you guys can help me out of there. If you guys actually want to chat on there, you guys can do it as well. And if you want to see a little bit more from me on Facebook, you can always hit the like button there on my official Facebook page, and all of the links, they will be provided in the video description. And as always, make sure that if you guys like this video to boom, give it a thumbs up. That being said, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in for this week's Knights and Dragons news flash. My name is Reversal, bringing you weekly Knights and Dragons news. I will be signing off, and I'll see you guys next week.